Jeez. Why did I think you'd act normal for once? I did take you on as my responsibility, so I shouldn't be surprised. You just need to make sure you understand you're dancing on the knife's edge. Anything more, it could get everyone in trouble. This world isn't as kind as you think it is. The more you underestimate it, the more you're going to end up in a sticky situation. You have a naive approach, something I can't stand by. But naivety has its own appeal. I never wanted you to be this way. Then again, if you weren't, would our paths have crossed in the first place? Look at me. Good. You're still sane enough to understand how ludicrous you sound. Follow. Now. Since your last meeting, things have gone difficult. Demons and the world around have gotten more fierce. Losses piled up. Tension gathered. Giyuu was not one that was easy to wear his emotions on his sleeves, at least in some manners. This was a difficult time, no doubt, even as your hands gripped close. There was a distance, immeasurable by commonplace words, and yet there was a closeness, born from the tragedy. You couldn't place which one you believed in more, only that they were there, unequivocally so. And that was strange, to say the least. I'm well aware of what happened last time. I know exactly what you're looking for. Everything you desire. I get it. It's not like I'm not human. I know what it's like to suffer. And you're different. I know for the obvious reasons, but right now, you can be a pain in the ass. But that doesn't mean I don't care. And still, to think you and I would be so close so quickly. I almost can't believe it myself. It's disappointing from my own point of view, my own standards. Not that you're lacking something, but I rushed into this without thinking, without apprehension. I made a decision on impulse and emotion, something unbefitting of a pillar. I'm shameless, and yet you draw me closer even still, like a syrupy sweet downfall, the cusp of everything I've worked so hard to avoid. Yet, here you are, still on my mind, still taking up every thought that's spare that I could possibly make. You're irrational, and you make me feel irrational just the same. That alone makes you dangerous to me. And yet now, I can't think of a single day without you. He assumes a conflicted position, gripping your hand tighter as his eyes cross yours. He looks at you with love and worry. It's clear his outburst is due to something he learned in his line of work, some form of loss that's still lingering, some worry that you will end up the same as another. It haunts him. You can see it in the dazzling eyes, filled with sorrow and love, passion and depth of action. Nothing he's done seems without purpose. The two of you on your journey, but to where? Where will it end? Where will it begin? You have answers, but not enough. Look, there's more to this than you could ever understand. Even if you think that you're fine, that you're different, I might not be. But let's put this heavy stuff behind us. It's going to be dusk soon. And you don't want to have to fight more, do you? Neither do I. Sometimes I forget why it is we fight. It's almost like an endless battle for nothing. I lose sight when you end so many lives. Lives of people who beg for mercy, for things you can't give. If I embrace my heart, how many more would die? If I'm weak, what's left at the end of the day? If I'm truly honest, the thought of taking a break is a good idea, but the very concept of it gives me anxiety. That makes me shake and waver. It makes me feel like I'm lost. I don't like it. But somehow, holding you, it still does give me comfort. It's like you live to be an enigma to me. Just why is it you still stick to me? We're practically enemies. We ended up so close. What is this? This strange twist of fate? I'm not sure what to make of it. But one thing's for sure. I won't let this opportunity go. I won't let anything happen to you. Do you hear me? I swear it on my life. Nobody's going to get through us. You're probably confused why I'm even saying it. I just got word. Something tragic happened. Something I never wanted to face, least of all with you. Because as much as you're my strength, you're my weakness. He tackles you to the ground, his hands on his sword on your neck. He looks at you with crying eyes, with no tears left to escape. Is there any reason I shouldn't just put us both out of our misery? You and then me. You're my weakness. I've been taught to kill my weakness. You're... His hands shake as he pulls the blade away, staring you down in your eyes as the two of you caress, even in this strange mixture of feelings. His lips finally touch yours. I'm sorry. I lost myself. It wasn't so easy thinking about what our life is going to be from here on. Sometimes I can be a coward. Sometimes my feelings come out and I lose them all over again. You were different. You are different. But this way can't be it, right? And if I resort to this, I'd be just as bad as them. This isn't who I am, or what I want to be. And I do, for better or worse, care about you. I care about you a lot, and I need to protect you. I need to show this world that it can't beat me. That all of this bullshit we have to face is nothing compared to these feelings. Even then, you're so strange. You made me feel these feelings in the first place. That's why I wasn't sure if I should blame you, kill you, or kiss you. But it looks like I made a decision. Now, come. I have a place I want to show you. It's close. Close now. As you pass through a thick bamboo forest, you eventually find yourself that perfectly and perpetually blotted out the sun, an ironic place for a slayer, let alone a pillar, to live. But this was different. You couldn't help but figure. This was awe-inspiring in the dusk-ridden light. What you could see of it, it was like a different world, with life and lifelessness in the balance. There was so much wherever the eye gazed. Lotus flowers and lampflies. There was everything, as if Giyuu had led you to a completely different world, one that was alien to you. But the welcome was somewhat warm, even aside from the sword that was at your neck, still being sheathed at that moment. I've asked myself this 1,000,000 times, maybe. But what future do we have at this rate? What am I supposed to do with you? And how am I supposed to... You always find a way to give me some form of hope. But if you want my honest opinion, if you want to know why I've been getting this way, things haven't been going... It's been bad. I've lost a lot of friends recently, and the world's looking like it's dangerous, like Muzan could win at the drop of a hat. I'm nervous, even worse so, now that I can see you like this. It makes me want to protect you. It makes me want to do something illogical, and I can't help but feel you're someone who understands me, so I owe you at least this much, at least an understanding. But even then, do you really think we're good for each other? What if I can't protect... Kissing away his protests, you try and rebuttal whatever he could say, shutting him up with the what-ifs and reminding him that he's in the here and now. Slow and sweet, your arms wrap around each other. You can feel his warmth against you, and he feels like a leaf shaken in the wind, not because he's lacking in tone or size, but rather his soul itself is wavering, and you squeeze him tighter for it, trying to be a pillar for your pillar. You're impossible. But maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we ended up where we did. Maybe that's why all this doesn't feel like it's the end. At least not the real end. It almost feels like there's more. And that's both a scary prospect and one I'm looking forward to explore. It's just... this war's tiresome. You must have felt it before. The hopelessness. The casualties. For what? Why are we fighting? If what happened to Nezuko can happen to others, then why haven't we figured out something? A way to end the bloodshed on both sides. If demons are demons, if they aren't monsters, then why? Why can't people just just make it a better solution. I don't need to tell you just how difficult this is. You can see it. You can read it on my features. You can see it as clear as day. But even then, even after all this, what changes? If I'm being honest with you, I don't think anything changes. Not that easy. It would be wishful thinking if I were to think that you had an easier solution to it. Or I. But maybe, just maybe, he pushes you down through the front door. As it opens somberly, you fall onto a surprisingly soft tatami floor. As the night takes a turn, you feel his breath on you. You feel his need for an escape. You feel everything he is pressed against you, compiled with all of his doubts, all of his love, and the quivering disposition of a man who wishes for something more than he cares to admit it. As he holds you, his body weight pinning you to the floor, there is a sense of calm, gentleness, even among his needy movements. What he wants is clear. He just wants to hold you. He wants to feel safe. Something, a privilege of sorts, not allotted to the pillars that fight for humanity. Even if you say that, you should know. It's not that easy. It never will be, right? Even you can admit it. Seeing things from both sides. It damaged me. At least as a pillar. As a demon slayer. I'm different than I was. I can't turn a blind eye to it. They're not unfeeling. They're not. But neither are you. And I shouldn't be putting you through this. The fact that I am. I feel like I'm letting you down. Like I'm... This might be your fault. If it was, why don't you take responsibility for it? Look, I'm sorry. Not for kissing you. Not even for pushing you over. But for bringing up questions without answers. There isn't anyone who could solve them. It's impossible if you think about it. Like asking someone to bear a grudge against someone they don't even know. Sure, they can say they will, but if they don't have a grudge against them, the feelings, they aren't the same, are they? And I know you're doing your best. In fact, I appreciate it. I doubt I would have made it this far in the first place if it wasn't for your efforts. As shameless as it is to say, I may be lacking many, many things. Even if I give you credit where it's not deserved. I wonder, how will you even respond? Staring into your eyes, I see things. Things I never thought I would see, that weren't meant for me. Things that don't really add up. But every time I kiss you, it's like those feelings reset. Like there's not much to it. Like every single time, it might as well be a repeat. Like my brain resets and a pleasant numbness washes over. Like sorcery in a small, way too soft, way too comforting and warm kiss. You're my escape, but you're also more than that. I can't oversimplify what you've done in the small time I've known you. I can't, or it wouldn't be doing you justice. Even now, even in this situation, even when I don't know what to say or do, you feel true, like a light in the darkness. How is it you manage? I can't place it. Not when you're so mysterious. But even then, I'm tired of fighting. If I could, I almost wish something horrible. I wish everybody could be the same, could feel this conflict, could understand firsthand exactly what it feels like when you feel like your heart's ripping out. I know it's cruel, but I never said I wasn't a cruel man. And I never said that my struggles in killing were anything less than conviction based upon guilt. I've seen horrible things. I've killed people I didn't want to. Demons, humans, the whole mess of them. It blends together after you kill enough. You end up losing yourself in that calm, hazy nothingness. As much as I'd like to say it, I'm every bit as guilty as my son. And that scares me. What kind of a monster am I? Do I look like a monster to you too? Do I seem less than I did before I told you everything? His eyes reflect pain, agony, depth of feeling that doesn't add up with the way he's pinning you. His hands feel weak, his voice weaker. The way he explains himself, he might as well be a villain of a story. Words seem to only half reach him as you try and snap him from his delusion of truth without any glory, patience, or any redeeming features. You can see it. He's looking into the mirror of his very soul, seeing himself in this dimly lit hut in the middle of nowhere, with someone he cares about truly lost because he can't face you. You contemplate what to do. I can only think actions would speak louder, and thus you reach your arms out and pull him closer even still. embracing him in the warmest, most comforting, and wonderful thing you could do. Holding him in the most loving way. You don't know when to stop, do you? Even after everything, you'd still stand by me. Even after what I've done. Sins don't just go away. Mistakes, there's some that can't be taken back. And I'm guilty of those. So why? What right do I have to be so happy with you? I know what you're thinking. Where did all this come from? Where is all this resentment? This self-doubt wasn't something that came overnight. I know you know that. I know you can grasp that. You understand me on a level that nobody cared to. I kept walls up for my own sanity, but you broke them down, and for better or worse, I'm vulnerable, weak, empty, lacking something that I'm not sure how to get back. I can't call myself a human. I can't call myself a demon. So what am I really? I see why in the past some of them turned humans. I see why they did it. Because it'd be so easy to let go. So easy to give in and be the monster you see in the mirror. Because I've seen it for so long now. It almost feels like it would be justice to do that. That if I did that somehow, it would be remittance for all the things that I've done wrong. All the mistakes I can't take back, all the lives that Is that you telling me to shut up? Because in some way, I think it's hilarious. Hilarious that you think that it's that easy. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're just honestly trying to help. But even then, even with good intentions, I know you know me. But even if you do, even if everything falls into place perfectly and the war ends, what I regret not embracing the fact of what I truly am. Who I truly am. I know what you're thinking. I can see it in your eyes. Just like the crescent moon, it glistens. I can see it reflecting in you. That beautiful look. It makes me feel guilty, you know? It makes the guilt of what I've done way heavier. Even if I'm the one holding you like this, and you're the one who's trying to spoil me, I can't help but be shaky. I can't help but feel this isn't fair. It's like the souls of the dead. The ones I couldn't save are the ones I condemned. They all stare at me. They stare, and they hurt, and they beg, and they plead. And I don't want to. I don't want to fear my own future. I don't want to fear being alive and well, happy. I've never thought happiness would be so scary. But with sins like this, how could it be anything but? How could I just be happy and forget about them? for better or worse. I'm afraid I'm a very sensitive, almost too sensitive man for my own good. I could never turn off my heart. Not in a million years. And that's my weakness. A bitter weakness which I wish didn't exist. The bittersweet admittance reminds you why you fell in love with him. But the troubling condescension of what could be a broken, empty shell of a man you refuse to accept. You squeeze him tighter, so tight in fact that he can barely breathe. But that might remind him the value of what's right in front of him. You must be trying to kill me with that. All right. I get it already. I get it, but you always simplify things. Even when it's so complicated. Shutting him up once more with a kiss. This time with the satisfying sound of his own satisfaction. You can tell you've had an effect on him. You've made him forget just a sliver of the pain, if nothing more than the moment. Then, doesn't it mean you just have to endlessly hold him, endlessly kiss him, endlessly caress him, so that the pain never returns? If you give him not a moment to think, then surely he'd be thinking about you instead. Now you're not playing fair. Not even slightly, huh? Pinning me down when I'm weak. Kissing me. You think that can fix me? Maybe. At this point, I want to trust you. I want to. Can I? Please. As he falls into your embrace, there's a certain level of neediness in him. That weakness comes forth in the most primal way. He holds you close with shaky hands and an even shakier voice escaping between every kiss. You're impossible. Even then, I do appreciate you. You might be the one good thing that I feel no regrets for. At least not yet. If I did feel regrets, I would handle them differently. I would make sure of it. But even then... Your slyness. You won't let me speak, will you? Understood. I think you've made it clear enough. I'm afraid it's not that easy. But it doesn't mean this is meaningless either. Your idiot's approach to fixing me. I think I like it. As clumsy as it may be. think I want more. Do you? Will you be honest? He stares you in the eye, regaining some measure of composure to the otherwise unhinged visage of which he showed you moments before. As if there's a second wind, one directed swiftly in your direction. What do you plan to do? What comes next? I wonder.